Today, we're talking about many of the misconceptions about expensive baits. Are you really getting more for the money, or is it just a bunch of junk? Today, I'm doing another video that's probably going to make a lot of people mad at me again. Stick around. You really don't want to miss this one.
Got him. Ooh, that's not bad. That's not bad. Oh, that's a nice one, honey. This is a nice one. This is a good one. Come here, buddy. Stay down. Oh, that's a nice fish. Come here, you.
Welcome back to Lowbrow Fishing, and today we're talking about some of the myths and misconceptions surrounding some high-priced bass fishing gear, whether it's baits, whether it's tackle, rods, reels, whatever it has to do with bass fishing. Does price really make that much of a difference? We've always got it ingrained in our heads that the more expensive something is, the better it is. And the higher on that price scale you go, the better that it's going to work. Whether it's a bait coming through the water, catching fish, more fish, bigger fish, whether it's a rod that costs $200 or $300, is it really more sensitive? Is it really going to catch more fish? Or even a $200 and $300 reel? Do these things really make a difference? Well, we're going to take a deep dive and we're going to look at a lot of those things. But before we get started, if you like bass fishing content that always tries to be inclusive, whether you fish from a boat or whether you're fishing from the bank, and always thinking about budget because not everyone's got a lot of money to spend on bass fishing gear, this is the channel for you. Click that subscribe button down below. And while you're down there, give this video a like. I would really appreciate it, and it helps out the channel so much. Thank you. Now, before we really get into this, I have to preface this by saying I'm going to say things that may offend people about their favorite brands. Don't take it personally. Every time I talk about somebody's favorite brand in a way that they don't like, you'd think that I kicked their dog. They come at me all guns blazing, and they take it like a personal attack on them. It's not. I'm talking about a piece of plastic with hooks on it. I'm talking about a rod. I'm talking about a reel or even string. It's not meant to offend you. I'm just trying to give you a different point of view. I'm not saying you're a bad fisherman. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with the way that you do it. If you use these things, if you use these expensive lures and you have great success, more power to you. I'm just pointing out some things, especially for people who can't afford a lot of that high-end gear, that you can still get good budget gear, go out to the lake, catch fish, and have fun, because that's the number one thing that we want to focus on. The number one thing about bass fishing is have fun. If you're not having fun, then that's when you're doing it wrong. And that's what I want us all to focus on. Because first up, I got to talk about MegaBass. You guys know how I feel about MegaBass. I will not pay $25 for a jerkbait. Now, everybody tells me, oh, Lowbrow, you're sleeping on them. They are so good. They work great. They might. They might absolutely be high quality product, but they're not $25 high. It's a 4-inch piece of plastic with some metal on it. Does it have gold in it? Does it have platinum in it? Is there something about it that makes it worth the cost? No. I can do the same thing with cheaper jerkbaits and catch some really nice giants. As a matter of fact, I have 4 and 5 pound bass, not a problem with the jerkbaits that I have. And believe it or not, they are super, super cheap. Matter of fact, we are going to go right to the very bottom. You guys know I love these guys. This is a cotton cordell redfin shad, or a little CC jerk minnow as we call them. These things are $2.50 at Walmart. Just like that. You can buy them at Walmart right now for about $2.50. I have a bunch of these. I have one in that color. I've got that old bluegill color. I've got a couple of others. I've got one that's kind of like in a chartreuse color. You know, it's the standard CC cotton cordell paint job that they have on most of their hard plastics. They catch tons of fish. And they say, well, yeah, well, you can buy that, but the first thing you need to do is put some decent hooks on it. Those are the original hooks. All my baits have the original hooks. There's no need to change hooks out on these. I've had this bait for probably about 5 or 6 years now. I've caught, I don't know, hundreds of fish on this thing. You know, I mean, it's looking pretty gnarly. It's looking pretty beat up, but it's still a fish catching machine. I've never changed the hooks on it. I will never change the hooks that don't need to be changed. Buy them out of the packet, tie it on my line, throw it out there, catch a fish. And if you are having trouble catching fish, then it's not your hooks. It's your hook set. I've said that 1,000 times. Be more patient with that bass. Let it eat the bait, then set the hook. Don't boom, 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 and then go swinging away. That is a recipe to not only miss hookups, but have them spit it on the way to the boat. I don't lose many fish. Sure, we all lose. If I say I had 100% hookup rate, I would be lying. But I tell you what, it's in the high 90s. I rarely lose fish. And the only times that I do lose fish is because me. The last time I had a problem losing fish, it wasn't because of the hooks. It was because I didn't have the drag set properly on my rod. It had gotten loose and I wasn't having any force behind the hook set. Again, the hook set was the problem, not the hooks. So these things right here, you know, I fished with these the last time I was out on the big lake. I literally took this guy, tied it on, started fishing around, and well, this was the result. Possibly. But bass that little usually don't spawn. They're usually too young. Yeah, that's true. Got him. Ooh, that's a better one. That's a much better one. That's a nice one right there. Come here. You are not throwing it. He T-boned it. All right. This one here's a much better one. Ow, you son of a gun. That one right there is about close to 1.5 pounds, right in that 1.5 pound range. And they've been T-boning it. The old cotton cordell red fin shad doing work. That's a couple I've caught on it today. This is a nicer one. Come on, I don't want to get him in the bone. Yeah. I mean, it's a floating jerk minnow, like a jerk bait. You can. I tend to twitch mine quickly. Golly, ding dang it! Get off it. There we go. Work, doing work. That's a nicer fish right there. That's a much nicer fish. Beautiful. Right at 1.5 pounds. Gorgeous. Thank you, buddy. We sure do appreciate that. And there he goes. All right. So we can even go up a size. They don't have to be those little floating jerk minnows like the Rebel minnows. Another one you guys know that I like. I can spend $5 whole at my local academy and get an H2O Express or H2OX jerkbait. I've got a bunch of these. This is the newest one that I got. These are the chrome ones, and I've had several of these. I keep losing them. But this guy right here, took it right out of the package, started fishing with it. Now, the box says it's got VMC hooks on it, so, you know, that might be pretty good. Either way, it doesn't bother me. I wouldn't have changed the hooks out anyway. But the first day I had this tied on, and ever since then, this thing has been a fish catching machine. So again, I don't see the incentive for me to pay $25 for a Vision 110 or a 110 plus one or whatever. I don't see the incentive. I'm catching good fish with what I have. Now, on average, I'm paying probably between $8 to $10 for most of my jerk baits, such as this guy right here. This is a Yozuri 3DB, and this is your standard 110 size jerk bait. This will run about $9, so still not even half as expensive as that MegaBass. And I have caught some giants with this. These Yozuri jerkbaits are amazing. They cast like a missile and they work great in the water. They have a great suspension where they'll normally just sit just like this, just a little bit nose down, which is how I prefer to have my jerkbait settle. And man, I'm telling you what, they settle every single time. These things are great. They're very predictable, which is important to me because that means I know how I can work these. The most expensive jerkbait I have in all my arsenal is this 6th Sense Provoke. And this guy was about $15. And I went out on a lark and I bought this just to see. It's not a bad jerkbait, but it's not my favorite. I've caught some fish with it, but I don't do any better with that than I do with any of my other jerkbaits. And I have some jerkbaits that run anywhere from, like I said, $2.50 all the way up to about $16. I have some Berkeley Stunnas that I like, and I've caught some nice fish on those Berkeley Stunnas. I've caught some 3 and 4 pound bass. But the thing is, I'm not saying they don't work. What I'm saying is for the price, I'm not seeing any difference from what I already have. I'm taking them right out of the package, using them as they are, and catching fish after fish after fish after fish, and catching nice fish. So I don't know what else I can do. I don't know what the incentive is to pay more for that. And that gravitates to other baits as well. You have plated jigs, for example, right? I'm not paying $16 for a jackhammer. I've had a couple of them. I don't like them. They didn't catch the fish that I wanted to catch. So I just go with the regular ones, right? These things are like $5. This is your standard 1/4, which is my favorite size for the most part from where I'm working. It's got that nice hook on it. It's got a pretty good size hook on it. This is just your standard regular Z-Man chatterbait. This thing catches fish. It catches nice fish over and over again. So what's my incentive to change this? I don't need to spend more money. Another alternative that I like is, well, I make my own. And these things right here, these are the homemade ones that I make with a regular old do-it jig mold. And you can buy the blades from the jig making stores that they have online, such as like Barlow's or whatever. And these things, you put them together and they work amazingly well. I love the shimmy in the water. I love everything about this. And the best part is I made this. And there's something really gratifying about having that feeling of making something and it work well and catch fish, you know. But it doesn't stop there. You've got spinnerbaits. You've got War Eagle spinnerbaits, you've got Berkeley spinnerbaits, you've got all of these expensive brand spinnerbaits, and they'll go anywhere from $8 to $15 or more. Last time out, I used this guy right here. This is just a cheapo Strike King spinnerbait. I paid, I don't know, $4 or $5 for this thing at Walmart, and it may be a Booyah, but I think it's a Strike King. Let me look at it real quick. Yeah, it's a Strike King. It says it's stamped so right there on the blade, you know, just. And this has got a Indiana blade and a Colorado blade. Great little spinnerbait in that chartreuse. We had some really, really cloudy water after all that rain. And I just tied that dude on, went to work with it on this setup, which we'll get back to. And I ended up catching a really nice fish.
I'm such a lucky man. That felt very natural, complete, and not forced at all. Got him. Ooh, that's not bad. That's not bad. Oh, that's a nice one, honey. This is a nice one. This is a good one. Come here, buddy. Stay down. Oh, that's a nice fish. Come here, you. No, you're not spitting it. You're not spitting it. I got you good.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's that, kids.
What's that, about a 2.5?
Right at 2.5. Yeah. Not quite 3, 2.5.
Pretty.
On the old spinnerbait.
Nice. Good job.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Gorgeous, awesome fish. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Right at about 2.5 pounds. Nice, beautiful fish. Thank you. Oop, and there he goes. All right. Let's see if we can't do that one last time.
Now, lastly, when it comes to baits, I want to talk about something like topwater frogs, right? You guys know that I'm a huge fan of these scum frogs, this little chartreuse scum frog here. And this is a new one. If you recognize it, the old one, the tassels were pretty much gone and it was pretty much beat up. So I went ahead and got a few more of these. You know, these things are just amazing. And they're less than $5 a piece. They're super, super soft, super, super soft. And one of the best things about them, they don't fill up with water. I can cast these over and over and over and over again and not have to squeeze the water out of them. That, to me, is one of the biggest headaches when it comes to fishing a frog. And I've got some pretty expensive frogs, too. I've got this Spro frog. This is a Spro poppin' frog. And I think I paid $11 or $12 for this. And it's a good popping frog, I mean, it works. I've caught some fish with it. It's better than that Vega frog, but it's still pretty stiff. I've had to bend the hooks out some. And for the money that I paid, it's not any better than this. It's not any better than those scum frogs that I'm using. And I've got this guy right here, this Booyah Pad Crasher. And this was probably about $10. And this thing fills up with water. I have to do the squirt thing every few casts. That's annoying. For the money that I paid for these, they should work better than that. And I'm not catching any more fish with that than I am with this. So budget does not matter. You can buy cheap baits and still go out there and catch fish. Why? Because technique over tackle. You guys have heard me say that before. Technique over tackle. Technique catches fish. How you work that bait, where you're placing that bait, how you do the hook set with that bait. That's what matters more than the expense of that bait. And a lot of guys go out there with this cheap gear, with all these $2 and $3 lures, and they are tearing it up because they know this is the cheap lure that I have to work with. I have to be focused on technique. And when you get focused on technique, that's when things really start to change. Don't worry about what bait do I need? What bait do I need? What lure do I need? Focus on the technique, because you can catch a lot more fish with supposedly bad lures as long as you have the right technique. Now, when it comes to gear, well, again, this is a higher end setup. I'm not going to lie about that. This is an Abu Garcia Revo SX. This rod and reel combo is probably a little north of $300, which for some guys is pretty pricey, which for other guys is nothing. This is about $170, $180 reel, and this is a Ducket Torch, 7'2", medium heavy, and this will run you probably about $100, $110 depending on where you go. This is a great setup. This is an anniversary present from my wife to me, and I love this. This is an awesome, awesome combo. Now, do I need it to be this expensive? No. I have some cheaper ones. I've still got my old Abu Garcia Silver Max on a good old Vengeance rod, and you're looking at about $100, $110 combo, and it catches fish just fine. I don't need this expensive setup to catch more fish or to catch better fish, but there are some things about it that I just like. And one of the biggest reasons is on the bottom of this reel, there is a little port. All I have to do is take that screw out right there on this side, and I can get to that port and I can grease it. The maintenance on this is a lot easier to do. It's a more durable rod. I can keep care of it. Whenever I'm taking care of it and do the oiling and the greasing of it, it casts like butter. The drag on it is amazing. I don't have to worry about the sprawl in the level wind going out or any of those things, because rather than plastic, it's metal. You know, I've got better ball bearings in it, so it's a better product that way. Is it going to catch me more fish? No. Is it, the fish aren't going to care. They're not going to look at that and go, oh, wow, he's got a cheap piece of junk rod and reel. I'm not going to catch. Man, I have caught so many fish on an old Zebco 33. It's not even funny. So what about this rod? Well, the thing about this rod, and this is why I like Ducket rods, is because it's got those stainless steel line guides. No ceramic in there. That's what I like about these. Those ceramic line guides always popping out and having to change them out. That's aggravating. That's the main reason why I got that rod. Simply for that. Doesn't mean that I can't get fish with a cheaper rod. I've done it. But that's why I have that. It's not because I'm trying to catch more fish or better fish. It's more like ease of use down the long road. And whenever you put things in those terms, that's when it becomes to matter. But that to me only really applies to the rod, reel, and line that you're using. As far as the baits go, you can get away with some cheap baits and you can catch some really, really nice fish. I know I've done it over and over and over again, and you guys have seen me do it. So don't listen to the Bass Fishing Shopping Network. You know, the channel I'm talking about, the one that says, hey, buy this St. Croix rod, buy this G. Loomis rod, buy this super expensive Abu Garcia Xeon rod, or this Shimano Corrado DC. All of those $300, $400 reels. You don't need any of that. What you need is to be worrying about what you can afford and not putting yourself in a bind. If you have the money to do it, that's fine. I'm a tackle junkie myself. I want to buy all the tackle, but I want to keep it reasonable too. I don't want to have to spend a whole bunch of money on things that I just won't use. when I know that I can catch fish with what I have. So always bear that in mind. So there you have it. My take on expensive versus budget gear. Budget gear works just fine for me. It catches me plenty of fish, and I have a lot of fun on the water. And as long as you're having fun on the water, then you are doing it right. Thanks for watching Lowbrow Fishing. We'll catch you in the next one.